Earth under siege. The skies over New York City darkened as the massive alien mothership blotted out the sun. Citizens stood frozen in the streets, necks craned upward in disbelief. The ship's hull gleamed with an otherworldly metallic sheen, its surface adorned with strange symbols and pulsing with eerie blue light. Commander Sarah Chen gripped the edge of her desk at United Earth Defense Headquarters, her knuckles white as she watched live feeds from around the globe. Similar ships hovered over every major city on the planet. Smaller craft swarmed like angry hornets, engaging Earth's pitiful air defenses. Status report. She barked, her voice steady despite the chaos unfolding on the screens before her. A young lieutenant, his face pale with shock, responded, "Ma'am, our forces are being decimated worldwide. Their technology. It's beyond anything we've ever seen. Our weapons barely scratched their shields." Sarah's jaw clenched. She'd trained her entire life for this moment, but nothing could have prepared her for the sheer hopelessness of their situation. Humanity's most advanced fighter jets were swatted from the sky like flies. Tank divisions crumbled under searing energy beams that melted through armor like butter. As the alien forces began their ground assault, panic gripped the populace. Governments crumbled, and order gave way to chaos. Within days, Earth's organized resistance had all but collapsed. In the bowels of the UED bunker, Sarah paced restlessly. The weight of humanity's fate pressed down on her shoulders. "There has to be something we haven't tried," she muttered, more to herself than to her haggard staff. It was then that Dr. Aidan Foster, a brilliant but often overlooked scientist from the R&D department, cleared his throat nervously. "Commander, I might have an idea. It's unconventional, to say the least." Sarah's eyes locked onto Aidan, a flicker of hope igniting in her chest. "At this point, Doctor, I'm open to anything. What have you got?" Aidan pulled up a holographic display, showing schematics for a device unlike anything Sarah had ever seen. "We've been approaching this all wrong," he explained, his words tumbling out in excitement. "We can't match their technology, but we might be able to use it against them." As Aidan outlined his plan, Sarah's eyes widened. It was audacious, borderline insane, but it just might work. For the first time since the invasion began, a smile tugged at the corner of her lips. "How soon can you have a prototype ready?" she asked. Aidan's face fell slightly. "That's the catch, Commander. We need materials, specific materials that we can only get from the alien tech itself." Sarah nodded, her mind already racing ahead. "Then we'll get them for you, whatever it takes." Over the next few weeks, as alien forces tightened their grip on Earth, Sarah coordinated a series of daring raids. Small teams of elite soldiers, working in absolute secrecy, struck at alien outposts and downed ships. Each mission was a knife's edge between success and total failure, but slowly, piece by piece, they gathered what Aidan needed. The aliens, overconfident in their superiority, never suspected the true purpose behind these seemingly random attacks. They dismissed them as the dying thrashes of a defeated species. In a hidden facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Aidan and his team worked tirelessly. The device took shape, a strange hybrid of human ingenuity and alien technology. Sarah visited often, watching with a mixture of hope and trepidation as the machine grew. "Will it work?" she asked Aidan one night, both of them exhausted from sleepless weeks of preparation. Aidan rubbed his bloodshot eyes. "In theory, yes. In practice, we won't know until we try. And we'll only get one shot at this." Sarah placed a hand on his shoulder. "It's more than we had before. You've given us a fighting chance, Aidan. That's all I can ask for." As the final pieces fell into place, Sarah gathered what remained of Earth's military leadership. In a secure video conference, she outlined the plan. Skepticism was rife, but in the end, they all agreed. It was their only hope. The day of reckoning arrived. Sarah stood before the assembled troops, a mix of hardened veterans and fresh-faced volunteers. Fear and determination mingled in their eyes. "Today," she began, her voice carrying across the cavernous hangar, "we take our planet back. The road ahead is dangerous, and I won't lie to you. Many of us won't return. But what we do here, what we fight for, is nothing less than the survival of our species." She paused, looking out at the sea of faces. "The aliens think they've won. They think we're beaten. But they don't know humanity. They don't understand our resilience, our creativity, our sheer bloody-mindedness in the face of impossible odds." A ripple of grim chuckles ran through the crowd. "We may be outgunned and outnumbered, but we are not outmatched. Today, we show these invaders what it truly means to be human. Today, we fight not just for our lives, but for every generation that will come after us." Sarah's voice rose to a crescendo. "Are you with me?" The roar of affirmation that answered her shook the very foundations of the base. As the troops moved out, Sarah turned to Aiden. The scientist clutched a briefcase containing the fruit of their labors, his knuckles white with tension. "Ready?" she asked softly. Aiden nodded, swallowing hard. "As I'll ever be." Together, they boarded the last transport. As it lifted off, Sarah allowed herself one last look at the mountains above. Whatever happened next, the fate of humanity now rested in their hands. The ship streaked into the night sky, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of an entire planet. The counterattack was about to begin. The counterattack begins. The stealth transport carrying Commander Sarah Chen, Dr. Aiden Foster, and their elite team sliced through the night sky. Its advanced cloaking technology, a fusion of human and salvaged alien tech, keeping them hidden from the invaders' sensors. Their destination, the heart of the alien command structure in what was once Washington, D.C. Sarah's plan was audacious. While the remaining human military forces launched a series of diversionary attacks worldwide, her team would infiltrate the alien central hub and deploy Aiden's device, dubbed Prometheus, after the mythological figure who stole fire from the gods. As they approached the outskirts of the ruined capital, Sarah addressed her team one last time. "Remember, speed and silence are crucial. We get in, set up Prometheus, and get out. The fate of our world depends on it." The transport touched down in a secluded clearing. As they disembarked, the true scale of the alien occupation became apparent. The once proud monuments of human democracy now stood as twisted, half-melted ruins. In their place, bizarre alien structures pulsed with otherworldly energy. Moving swiftly through the shadows, the team navigated the transformed landscape. Their suits, reverse-engineered from captured alien armor, allowed them to blend seamlessly with their surroundings. As they approached the central command structure, a towering spire that had replaced the Capitol building, Sarah felt a mix of awe and revulsion. Suddenly, their comms crackled to life. It was General Rodriguez, coordinating the global diversion. "Operation Firestorm is a go. Good luck, Commander. The world is counting on you." All around the globe, the remnants of Earth's military sprang into action. Fighter jets screamed across the skies, engaging alien craft in desperate dogfights. Ground forces launched surprise attacks on alien strongholds, using guerrilla tactics to sow chaos and confusion. In orbit, the few remaining human space stations unleashed a barrage of experimental weapons, briefly overwhelming the aliens' defensive systems. It was a massive coordinated assault, one that the aliens had believed humanity incapable of mounting. Back in Washington, Sarah's team used the confusion to their advantage. They slipped past the distracted guards and into the heart of the alien command center. The interior was a maze of pulsing biomechanical corridors that seemed to shift and change as they moved. "This way," Aiden whispered, consulting a holographic map projected from his wrist device. "The central power core should be just ahead." As they rounded a corner, they came face to face with an alien patrol. Time seemed to slow as both groups froze in surprise. Then, chaos erupted. Sarah's team moved with practiced precision, their hybrid weapons cutting through the alien defenses. "Keep moving," Sarah shouted over the din of battle. "We can't let them sound the alarm." They fought their way deeper into the complex, the aliens growing increasingly desperate to stop them. Sarah's heart raced as they finally reached the massive chamber housing the power core, a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "This is it," Aiden said, his voice filled with a mix of fear and excitement. He began unpacking Prometheus, his hands moving with practiced efficiency despite the pressure. Sarah and her team formed a defensive perimeter, holding off wave after wave of alien attackers. The air crackled with energy weapons fire and the acrid smell of ozone. "How much longer?" Sarah called out, ducking behind cover as a blast of alien energy seared the air where her head had been moments before. "Almost there," Aiden replied, making the final connections. "Just need to calibrate the—" His words were cut off by a deafening explosion as a group of hulking alien elites burst into the chamber. Sarah's heart sank. They were out of time. "Aiden, activated now," she shouted, emptying her weapon into the oncoming horde. With a look of determination, Aiden slammed his hand down on Prometheus's activation switch. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the device hummed to life, emitting a pulsing field of energy that expanded rapidly. The effect was immediate and extraordinary. As the field washed over the alien technology, it began to sputter and fail. The elite's weapons fell silent, their armor systems offline. The swirling energy of the power core flickered and died. But the impact didn't stop there. Throughout the complex, alien systems crashed. The effect rippled outward, spreading across the city, then the country, then the globe. Everywhere it touched, alien technology faltered and failed. In orbit, massive warships suddenly lost power, drifting helplessly in space. On the ground, fearsome war machines toppled like felled trees. The invaders' technological advantage, the key to their dominance, had been stripped away in an instant. Sarah stared in awe at the scene unfolding around her. The alien elites, once so terrifying, now stumbled about in confusion, their formidable armor reduced to dead weight. "It worked," Aiden breathed, his eyes wide with disbelief. It actually worked. Sarah allowed herself a moment of elation before snapping back into commander mode. "This is our chance. Let's move." As they fought their way out of the complex, Sarah relayed the news to General Rodriguez. "Prometheus is active. Alien tech is down worldwide. Press the advantage." Across the globe, the tide of battle shifted dramatically. Human forces, emboldened by the aliens' sudden vulnerability, surged forward. Years of pent-up rage and defiance exploded into action as humanity seized this unexpected opportunity. In the skies over New York, fighter pilots whooped with joy as they outmaneuvered the now clumsy alien craft. In the streets of London, resistance fighters overwhelmed confused alien patrols. From the beaches of Rio to the steppes of Russia, the story was the same. Humanity was fighting back and winning. As Sarah's team emerged from the alien stronghold, they were met with a sight that brought tears to their eyes. The sun was rising over Washington, its golden light reflecting off the Lincoln Memorial. And there, fluttering in the morning breeze atop what remained of the Washington Monument, was an American flag. Sarah's comm unit crackled to life with reports from around the world. City after city, country after country reported the same thing. The aliens were in full retreat. For the first time in months, Sarah Chen allowed herself to smile. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. The war wasn't over, far from it. But in this moment, standing amidst the ruins of their capital with the sunrise warming their faces, they had hope. And for humans, hope was the most powerful weapon of all. Alien perspective and human allies. High above Earth's atmosphere, aboard the massive alien flagship Dominion, Supreme Commander Zarkov paced restlessly. His iridescent scales shimmered with agitation under the ship's harsh lighting. The latest reports from the surface were troubling, to say the least. "Impossible," he muttered, his multiple eyes blinking in rapid succession. How could these primitives have developed such technology? His second-in-command, Sub-Commander Vexala, approached cautiously. Supreme Commander, we've lost contact with over 70% of our ground forces. Our remaining units report widespread systems failures. It seems the humans have found a way to disable our technology. Zarkov's tail lashed in frustration. I was assured this species posed no significant threat. How could our intelligence have been so wrong? As the alien leaders grappled with their sudden reversal of fortune, a different scene was unfolding in the lower decks of the Dominion. Liara, a young alien scientist, huddled with a small group of like-minded individuals. Unlike their militaristic leaders, this group had come to Earth out of curiosity, not conquest. They had watched in horror as their civilization's expansionist agenda led to the subjugation of yet another world. We can't stand by any longer, Liara whispered, her bioluminescent spots pulsing with emotion. The humans have proven themselves worthy adversaries. More than that, they've shown a creativity and resilience that our society has long since abandoned. Krull, a grizzled engineer, nodded in agreement. Our leaders are blinded by their own arrogance. They cannot see the value in these humans, only a threat to be eliminated. The group had been secretly observing human culture and behavior since the invasion began. What they found had shaken their worldview to its core. Where their own society valued conformity and strict adherence to hierarchy, humans celebrated individuality and adaptability. The aliens had expected the humans to crumble in the face of superior technology. Instead, they had witnessed countless acts of bravery, sacrifice, and ingenuity. We must act now, Liara declared. While our leaders are in disarray, we have a chance to make contact with the humans, to offer our help. The plan was risky. If caught, they would be branded as traitors, facing certain execution. But for Liara and her companions, the stakes were too high to remain silent. Using their knowledge of the ship's systems, the small band of alien defectors managed to commandeer a shuttle. As they sped towards the Earth's surface, Liara's heart raced with a mixture of fear and excitement. Meanwhile, on the ground, Commander Sarah Chen and her team were working tirelessly to capitalize on their hard-won advantage. The Prometheus device had given them a fighting chance, but they knew it was only a matter of time before the aliens adapted. As Sarah coordinated with resistance cells around the globe, an urgent message came through from their early warning system. Commander, a young lieutenant called out, "We've detected an alien shuttle entering Earth's atmosphere. It's on a direct course for our position. But something's off. It's not following standard invasion protocols." Sarah's brow furrowed. A new tactic, or something else. She made a split-second decision. Let it approach, but have our anti-aircraft batteries ready. The moment it shows any sign of hostility, take it down. The tension was palpable as they watched the shuttle's approach on their monitors. To everyone's surprise, it made no aggressive moves. Instead, it landed in an open field several miles from the base. "Ma'am," the lieutenant reported, confusion evident in his voice, "we're receiving a transmission from the shuttle. It's in English." Sarah's eyes widened. "Put it through." The voice that came through the speakers was clearly alien, with an odd melodic quality to it. But the words were unmistakably human. "People of Earth," Liara's voice rang out, "we come in peace. We are not your enemies, but fellow beings who wish to aid your fight for freedom. We have vital information that could turn the tide of this war." A stunned silence fell over the command center. Sarah exchanged glances with Dr. Aiden Foster, who had been working on decoding alien communications. "It could be a trap," Aiden cautioned. Sarah nodded. "Agreed. But if there's even a chance they're genuine." She turned to her team. "Prep a squad. We're going to meet our unexpected guests." As Sarah led a heavily armed team towards the landing site, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the cusp of something momentous. The sight that greeted them as they crested a hill took her breath away. Standing before the shuttle were 5 aliens, their hands raised in what was clearly meant to be a gesture of peace. Their bodies glowed with soft bioluminescence, creating an almost ethereal effect in the fading light of day. Liara stepped forward, her multiple eyes fixed on Sarah. "Commander Chen," she said, her use of Sarah's name eliciting gasps from the human soldiers. "We've been monitoring your resistance. Your victory today has given us the courage to do what we should have done from the beginning: stand against this unjust war." For a long moment, Sarah said nothing, her mind racing with the implications of this development. Finally, she lowered her weapon. "I think," she said slowly, "we have a lot to talk about." Over the next few hours, as Liara and her companions shared their knowledge of the invasion fleet's weaknesses and command structure, a new alliance began to take shape. The alien defectors provided invaluable insights into their society's technology and tactics, while the humans shared their unique perspectives and innovative thinking. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a warm glow over humans and aliens working side by side, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of hope stronger than any she'd experienced since the invasion began. This unlikely partnership, born in the crucible of war, held the promise of not just victory, but a future where two vastly different species could learn from each other, grow together, and perhaps forge a lasting peace. The road ahead would be challenging, fraught with danger and uncertainty. But as Sarah watched Liara excitedly explaining alien tech to a group of enthralled human scientists, she knew that together they stood a fighting chance. The war for Earth had entered a new phase, and with it the possibility of a future none could have imagined just days before. The turning point. The weeks following the alliance between Earth's defenders and the alien defectors were a whirlwind of activity. Commander Sarah Chen found herself at the center of a storm of strategy meetings, technological exchanges, and cultural briefings. The fusion of human ingenuity with alien knowledge was producing results that bordered on miraculous. Dr. Aidan Foster worked tirelessly alongside Liara and her team, combining their technologies in ways neither species had considered before. The Prometheus device, once a desperate gambit, was now being refined and enhanced. Its effects could be focused, allowing for precision strikes against alien strongholds while leaving human and allied alien tech unaffected. But time was not on their side. Supreme Commander Zarkov, reeling from the unexpected setback, had called for reinforcements from the far reaches of the alien empire. Earth had won a battle, but the war was far from over. Sarah stood before a holographic display of the solar system, studying the incoming alien fleet's trajectory. "How long do we have?" she asked, her voice taut with tension. Liara's bioluminescent spots pulsed with concern as she replied. "At their current speed, the reinforcements will arrive in approximately 72 Earth hours." Sarah nodded grimly. "Then that's our window. We need to strike now, before they can regroup." The plan they devised was audacious, combining human unpredictability with alien technical prowess. Using the enhanced Prometheus devices, they would launch a series of coordinated attacks on key alien installations around the globe. Meanwhile, a small elite team would infiltrate the Dominion itself, aiming to capture or neutralize the alien leadership. As preparations for the assault reached fever pitch, Sarah found a quiet moment to speak with Liara. The alien scientist had become not just an ally, but a friend. "Are you sure about this?" Sarah asked softly. "You'll be branded a traitor by your own people." Liara's eyes shimmered with a mix of emotions. "My people lost their way long ago, Commander. This war, it's opened my eyes to what we've become. Working with humans, I've rediscovered values my civilization had forgotten. Creativity, compassion, the beauty of diversity. Whatever happens, I know I'm on the right side of history." Sarah placed a hand on Liara's shoulder, a gesture of solidarity that transcended their biological differences. "Let's make that history together." The day of the assault arrived with a tense, electric atmosphere. Around the world, resistance fighters and alien defectors stood side by side, ready to launch their coordinated attack. Sarah, leading the strike team against the Dominion, felt the weight of billions of lives on her shoulders. As dawn broke, the signal was given. Across the globe, Prometheus devices activated, sending waves of disruptive energy that crippled alien defenses. Human and allied alien forces surged forward, catching the invaders off guard. In low Earth orbit, Sarah's team approached the Dominion in a shuttle enhanced with stealth technology. Liara, at the controls, navigated through the chaotic space battle raging around them. Explosions lit up the void as human fighters, newly equipped with alien tech, engaged the invaders' ships. "We're approaching the main hangar," Liara announced. "Brace for impact." The shuttle crashed through the energy barrier, skidding across the hangar floor in a shower of sparks. Before the stunned alien crew could react, Sarah and her team were out, weapons blazing. They fought their way through the labyrinthine corridors of the massive ship, their progress aided by Liara's intimate knowledge of its layout. Alien defenders fell before their combined tactics and technology. Finally, they reached the bridge. The doors hissed open to reveal Supreme Commander Zarkov, surrounded by his top lieutenants. The alien leader's eyes widened in shock at the sight of humans and his own kind fighting together. "This ends now, Zarkov," Sarah declared, her voice carrying the authority of a leader who had faced impossible odds and emerged stronger. What followed was a battle of both wills and weapons. Zarkov, realizing the tide had turned, fought with the desperation of a cornered animal. But faced with the united front of humans and defectors, even he could not prevail. As Zarkov was subdued, Sarah turned to the ship's communications array. With Liara's help, she broadcast a message to the entire alien fleet. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of Earth," she began, her voice echoing across the stars. "Your leader has fallen. Your invasion has failed, but this doesn't have to end in more bloodshed. We offer you a choice: continue this senseless war, or join us in building a new future, one of cooperation and mutual understanding." For long moments, silence reigned. Then, one by one, alien ships began to stand down. Across the Earth, invading forces laid down their arms, many inspired by the example set by Liara and her fellow defectors. As the realization of victory swept across the planet, celebrations erupted in every corner of the globe. Humans embraced their alien allies, tears of joy mingling with expressions of relief and disbelief. On the bridge of the Dominion, now under Allied control, Sarah looked out at the blue marble of Earth. The planet bore the scars of war, but it had survived. More than that, it had emerged as a beacon of hope for interstellar cooperation. Liara joined her at the viewport, her bioluminescence glowing softly. "What happens now, Commander?" Sarah smiled, feeling the weight of the past months lifting from her shoulders. "Now, we rebuild. We learn from each other. We create something new, a civilization that takes the best of both our worlds." As they stood there, human and alien united in victory and hope, the first light of a new dawn broke over the horizon of Earth. It was the dawn not just of a new day, but of a new era for both species, one filled with challenges, certainly, but also with unprecedented opportunities for growth, understanding, and peace. The war was over. The real work of building a shared future was about to begin. A new dawn for Earth. 5 years had passed since the day Earth's skies cleared of invading ships. The planet, once ravaged by war, was now a symbol of interstellar cooperation and resilience. The scars of battle were slowly healing, replaced by a blend of human and alien architecture that spoke to a shared future. Sarah Chen, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the newly formed Galactic Council, stood at the podium in the United Nations headquarters in New York. The room was filled with an eclectic mix of humans and various alien species, all gathered to commemorate the anniversary of the war's end and to discuss the path forward. 5 years ago, Sarah began, her voice carrying the weight of shared history. "We faced extinction. Today, we stand as partners in one of the greatest endeavors our species has ever undertaken, the forging of a truly interstellar community." She gestured to Liara, who sat among the delegates. The alien scientist, now a respected figure on both Earth and her home world, nodded in acknowledgement. Our victory was not just a triumph of arms, but a victory of understanding. We learned that our greatest strength lies not in technology or military might, but in our ability to come together, to learn from one another, and to grow beyond our limitations. As Sarah spoke, holographic displays showed images from around the globe. In the Amazon rainforest, alien botanists worked alongside human environmentalists, using advanced technology to accelerate reforestation. In the Sahara, vast solar farms powered by a fusion of human and alien tech provided clean energy to millions. And in orbit, the first interstellar university welcomed students from a dozen different worlds. The challenges we face now are different, but no less daunting. Sarah continued. Climate change, resource management, the ethical implications of our new technologies. These are issues that affect not just Earth, but all sentient beings. Dr. Aidan Foster, now leading Earth's premier research institute for xenotechnology, listened from the audience. His team's work on adapting alien medical technology had already saved millions of lives and promised to eradicate diseases that had plagued humanity for millennia. But we faced these challenges together. Sarah's voice swelled with conviction. The diversity that our alien friends once saw as a weakness has proven to be our greatest asset. Our different perspectives, our varied experiences, these are the tools with which we will build a better future for all. In the years since the war, Earth had become a hub of interstellar activity. The planet's unique history of overcoming the invasion had made it a symbol of hope and resilience across the galaxy. Alien tourists flocked to see the world that had defied the odds, while human adventurers set out to explore the stars. Yet, not all was perfect. There were still those on both sides who viewed the other with suspicion or outright hostility. Integrating alien technology and culture into human society had caused social upheavals, and there were ongoing debates about the pace and extent of these changes. Sarah addressed these concerns head-on. We cannot ignore the challenges that come with such rapid change. There are those who fear we are losing our identity, our humanity. To them, I say, our humanity is not defined by our isolation, but by our capacity to grow, to adapt, and to embrace new ideas. She paused, looking out over the assembled delegates. The true measure of our humanity is our ability to extend compassion and understanding beyond the boundaries of our own species. In reaching out to the stars, we have not lost ourselves. We have found our best selves. As Sarah's speech concluded, the chamber erupted in applause. Humans and aliens alike rose to their feet, united in their vision for the future. Later that evening, Sarah stood on the balcony of her New York apartment, gazing up at the stars. Liara joined her, the alien's bioluminescence glowing softly in the twilight. "Do you ever wonder," Liara asked, "what might have happened if we hadn't chosen to help you that day?" Sarah smiled, remembering the moment when former enemies became allies. "Sometimes, but I prefer to think about what we've accomplished since then, and what we still have to do." Liara's spots pulsed in agreement. "My people have a saying. The universe bends towards unity. I never truly understood it until I came to Earth." As they stood there, a streak of light crossed the sky, a ship departing for distant worlds. It carried a crew of humans and aliens, explorers and diplomats, scientists and dreamers. They were the vanguard of a new age, one where the boundaries between species blurred in the face of shared aspirations and common goals. Earth had been forged in the crucible of invasion and emerged not just intact, but transformed. The planet that had once been a backwater in the cosmic sea now stood as a beacon of hope and cooperation, a living testament to the power of understanding and the indomitable spirit of life in all its forms. As the first stars of evening appeared, Sarah and Liara turned their gaze from the past to the future. The challenges ahead were many, but facing them together, there was no limit to what they could achieve. The dawn of a new era had truly begun, not just for Earth, but for all sentient beings across the galaxy. And in that moment, under a sky that no longer held fear but promise, the future never looked brighter.